Welcome to CoD Gaming. In today's video, I'll be focusing on how to play USS Texas in Call of Duty World War II, specifically for the mode Team Deathmatch. Like I did with the rest of the maps in this series, I actually have the map on the screen with actual spawn location, which is no surprise, they're very limited on this specific map. That's why spawn trapping is such a real thing. Also keep in mind, like my previous videos, this is done complete with bots because the whole purpose isn't just to destroy the enemy team or whatever the case is that people like to show off in their videos, because that's fun and all, but the main purpose is to demonstrate the actual spawn guide system. And that spawn guide system has been the same since the beta through launch, and I don't envision it changing at all. So it's just something to be aware of and something to be prepared for down the line, that these are the way things are probably going to be. When they come out with the new maps, they're going to be broken spawns as well. They're going to be very limited spawn locations. You're going to spawn to the outer of the map. So really that's pretty much how it works. With this specific map in general, the thing that leads to severe spawn trapping is your teammates not leaving the spawn. What people often like to do is sit back on this front area where I'm going to be looking at right now and just camping it and trying to snipe people. But what they don't realize is they're actually screwing over their team, because ideally you want to be between 50 to 70% past the map. So if you're looking at the map that I have on the screen right now, you can see those green dotted lines. So if you're coming from the left spawn and you're approaching to the right spawn, you don't want to really cross that green line, because then you're going to be likely to flip the spawns. And then the opposite. So if you're coming from the right spawn, pushing to the left, you're likely to flip the spawns if you cross that green line. Not to say it's not impossible to not flip the spawns, but in this specific case, if you don't cross that line, you're more than likely not going to flip the spawn. There's a couple advantages in doing this, is because you have a more predictable enemy where they're coming from. The other advantage is that you don't have to walk all the way across the map to get into another engagement. What happens often though is that your teammates do not leave their designated third of the map. So what happens is when people start dying on your team, it allows the enemy team to push up to this imaginary green line. And what happens is you have nowhere else to spawn but to be spawn trapped. So a lot of times that's why I say your teammates are the ones that lead to you being screwed in this case, because if they weren't in that back area, the spawns would have flipped. But since they're holding down that area, they're going to continue to allow your team to spawn where they shouldn't really be spawning, because it's a spawn trap. So pretty much you can see I'm navigating back and forth through the map. This is a really good sight line right here to kind of pick people off a spawn. Where the enemies are coming out of, you can get a pretty good sight line, as long as you got a good long range weapon. It used to be the FG, but you know what happened to that gun with the nerf. But a lot of guns, they're using different guns for those long range, primarily the LMGs, but it really depends on what your preference is. So you can see right here they all spawn on this side. I'm gonna kind of push this area, but you'll kind of see they're just gonna keep popping out until the spawns actually flip. So they keep spawning in this back corner, which is really unfair for them, but at the end of the day, this is kind of how this map is played. So until the spawns actually flip, it doesn't really become an issue for my side of the team, but it'll just keep spawning back until this teammate, he probably goes a little too deep into their spawn and kind of ruins the spawn trap. So you can see, went a little deep, but maybe not so much. So they keep spawning in that back section, and they'll continue to do so. So you can see I haven't crossed that line at all, and I keep getting them flooding through one side. So if you're wondering, why do I always get spawn trap on Texas? Well, if it's not you that's camping in the back, and you got those teammates that want to be sniper phase wannabes, or they're just doing camo challenges or whatever the hell they're doing, they're ruining it for your team. So the best advice for any kind of spawn trappy map is to leave your spawn so that you don't screw your team over, because that's all you really do. So you can see they've kind of stayed in this back area for a long time, and I haven't really moved too much. The funny part about USS Texas, it simultaneously feels like the best and the worst map at the same time, because the spawns are so dang predictable that a lot of times it's very easy to predict where your opponents are. But if you're on a team with that one camper, it can really go to hell really quick. So that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the video. If you did enjoy it in any way, remember to click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Keep in mind that this is probably the last video of the 250 plus subscriber giveaway that will count towards the sharing and comments, so keep that in mind. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.